Okay, the next question we have is, my husband is really struggling to connect with my rainbow baby. I'm almost full term now with our first son, who we sadly lost. He was so engaged with him. My husband was always touching my belly, reading and singing to baby, but he doesn't seem interested. Why could this be? Okay, that's a really good question. And again, a really, really common one. So the short, brief answer is that that's probably a protective response. So for someone who was so engaged and so bonded before and then had a loss, I think perhaps there's something and emotionally that makes it feel like, well, maybe it would be less difficult this time if I don't bond in quite the same way. And it might not be a conscious thought, this could be unconsciously, but there'll be on some level part of your husband probably feeling like, actually, I just don't want to be this excited again and have to experience that awful devastation of a loss once more. And I think we can all relate to that in different ways, whether we be, the mum or the dad in this situation in a rainbow pregnancy. There was always a fear of it happening again. Some days greater than others, but there's always that fear, and we're always looking for ways to protect ourselves and to minimise the chance of it happening again. What I would say is that for some men, they don't bond even with a first baby, even without the loss, until the baby physically arrives. In this situation, he has done before, and so you're noticing the difference. But I would say he will bond when that baby is born. He will he will love that baby just as much as he did the last baby. But for now, he's probably just feeling like, I can't quite allow myself to go there. And I would say, even in circumstances where there hasn't been a loss, thinking of friends who've gone on to have a second baby, sometimes the man does, that first time it's exciting and they do the singing and the reading stories. And sometimes people don't do that in a second pregnancy anyway. But I would have thought, as I say, that there's an added element of protection here. And it's hard because you're probably thinking, what I really want is him to bond and love this baby as much. I think as tough as it is, you've got to try and cut him a bit of slack and kind of understand that, and just tell yourself you will bond when the baby's here. And if for any reason he does have difficulties with that bonding process, then people will be around to help that. So midwives are still doing home visits where they're needed to, etc. And there will be people to talk to if he finds that process hard. So yeah, it will come, and you will have support if it doesn't come. But for most people it will. It's just a protection. Yeah, if that answers your question.